Hey everybody, it's Rachel again with Host Lease. I wanted to talk to you about the expenses of running an Airbnb or a furnished rental. So this is really important when you're doing your calculations before you start to understand what the operating costs are. So I'm not going to go into the furnishing costs because that really can vary. I do have a pretty good model on that, which you can learn about more at our school channel. But right now I really wanted to just dive into what are the operating expenses. So your monthly expenses that you can count pretty much to be the same just about every month. And that'll go into your calculation for your profits. So you're obviously going to have your rent payment. So that is a guaranteed number. It's every month, the same amount, due on the same day. So when you've negotiated that key long-term 3 to 5 year lease, you usually can get favorable terms on that amount, potentially a little less than maybe a 12-month tenant because you are signing a longer term lease. So you have your lease payment. That's a monthly expense. So the second monthly expense that you need to account for is your insurance. I use Proper Insurance, and they are very well versed and kind of dedicated to the host lease model where you are renting the property and then re-renting it through a short-term furnished rental platform. So your insurance, that would be a set monthly fee, and you can understand what the policy will cost you over the course of 12 months and then break it down into that monthly expense. The third biggest thing would be your utilities. So for your utilities, again, I prefer an all electric unit. And I do always set them up on budget bill so that the amount I'm paying every month doesn't fluctuate. It helps me to estimate out the 12-month calendar year really easily. In my market, again, varies from market to market, I typically pay around $100 a month. The other utility that's super duper important is your Wi-Fi. If you're hosting people, everyone is streaming things, they have multiple devices, and you'll typically get people that are traveling for work or they're working remotely while they're traveling and they need a really great Wi-Fi connection. So do your research. Do not cheap out on the Wi-Fi. Typically that bill runs anywhere between $50 and $60 a month, depending on your provider, the speeds, etc. There's some great new technology coming out. One of the benefits with the host lease model, if you are doing a multi-family building that has multiple units, you can typically buy one connection. So you pay the one bill, and then I use really great Wi-Fi extenders. So I have great fast service coming into the building, but then I can ping it through the 4 units, say for a 4-family building, and then that cost might be a little higher on the front end because you might be getting faster service, but then I'm able to split that cost between the 4 units, and it works out really nicely. The next thing in terms of expenses would be your cleaning supplies and consumables. So your cleaning supplies, I like to stock full cleaning supplies in the unit. If someone's staying for more than a couple days, if you're like me, you want to wipe down the countertops, you might want to clean up the bathroom, do a little spiffy. If you have someone who's really OCD, they really appreciate having the cleaning supplies in the unit, not just where your cleaning team or you would come in, clean, and take them with you. So I stock all of those under the kitchen cabinet or in a closet. I provide the microfiber cleaning towels so that if someone does want to clean or they've spilled a soda or something, they have the ability to do a little cleanup. So you will have monthly consumables. Again, I have a great resource for that I can share with you in our school channel. So your cleaning supplies, and then the last thing would be your consumables. So that is your toilet paper, your paper towels, your trash bags, your hand soap, your dish soap, your dishwasher pods. So make that list and then find the right purchasing partners. I do a lot of shopping through Amazon, Costco, and then local cleaning suppliers. That's also a great place if you know that you're going to be doing more bulk purchasing. But Costco and Amazon, you can get all of those consumables. So listing out what those are going to be per month is super helpful then for your rent calculation to understand what your costs out of pocket are going to be every month. And then that will help you with your pricing strategy to maximize those profits. So obviously what I'm going to explain now will vary from market to market. Insurance rates are based on zip codes, right? Utilities, depending on the market and the provider, if there's competition or not. But I'll just kind of give you some basic numbers for what I spend. It might give you an idea in order to do your planning for your unit. So typically for a utilities, again, I prefer an all-electric unit. you can average anywhere between usually around $100 a month. If there's other utilities involved, then that number may fluctuate. But remember, the landlord in the host lease model, they're typically paying for the water, sewer, and trash, so you don't have to worry about that at all, which is awesome. The next would be your insurance policy. Again, varies from market to market. I use proper insurance, and typically in a one-bedroom unit, you can expect to pay about $100 a month. The next would be consumables. So again, that's your toilet paper, your paper towels, anything that the guest is going to use that you need to replenish. All of those things typically run me, again, depending on how busy you are. And if you're using a short-term model, you're going to go through more consumables than you would with a midterm model, because the midterm model, you're really only stocking for like the first 2 weeks. That's always what I say. I provide a 2-week supply, and then the rest is up to the guest. So that's a nice way to get them started so that they're not coming in from their long road trip, checking in, and they have no toilet paper. That's a bad look. Don't do that. So for a short-term model, typically my consumables average around $50 a month. And then the final thing would be cleaning supplies. So you're going to buy your Lysol, your Windex, your typical things, your stainless steel cleaner. You're going to buy those once, and those typically last a while. So I kind of budget usually about $25 a month for those. So all of those items outside of the rent run as a total about $275. So to learn more about how to break down these costs and all of the other things you might need to know to start a short-term or midterm furnished rental, follow us on YouTube and check us out on School. You can click the links below for more free training.